Do you ever look at something and just think, look at this gift I've been given to on this day? Well, that's how I feel about this fan fiction. Hello, lovelies, I'm Ray, and welcome back to Fanfiction Monday. So, I know it's been a long time since I've done this. I apologize. A lot of things have happened. But, who fucking cares? We're going back into it with a Legend of Zelda fanfiction today. We got a Link X Reader. I don't know why I like reading X Reader fanfictions more than, like, any other type of fanfiction. I just think that, like, X Reader ones are normally worse. Normally, it's easier to find trash ones than it is to find... I don't know, maybe I'm just not looking at the right fanfictions if I'm trying to look for trash ones. You're asking a lot from me. You're asking a lot from me. So yeah, this is literally just called Link X Reader. So, I have not even finished the first chapter. I just kind of started reading it and ever so slowly realized this is a gift I've been given today. I am excited. So, let's just jump into it. Chapter 1, a horrible day. Just a normal day, come home from school and sit on my phone. When I get bored, I play the Wii. It has to be Zelda. I won't play any other game but that. But that wasn't today. The students on my way to the bus pushed me. They pushed me to the ground outside and laughed. I picked up my stuff and walked to my bus. Before I reached it, my boyfriend stopped me. Hey? Oh. Hey. I think that's correct. I don't fucking know. Please at least tell me who's speaking at what point, because it can go either way. He looked at me and smiled and disappeared, like he always do. He's more of a friend than a boyfriend. I can't break up with him either. He said he would kill himself. Yikes. Dump his ass, girl. Like, fuck that, dump his ass. But the thing is that when he finds someone new, he'll just toss me in the dirt. I'm hoping he will soon. I wouldn't cry over him. I'd simply be the same. And you thought this was a Zelda fanfiction? Well, I don't know when that's gonna happen. We're gonna just hear about this girl's tragic life story in the meantime. Holy shit. This is already, like... wow. I have little to no emotional feelings. I can smile and laugh, but that's the shell on the outside of me. Inside I'm crying. That's the only emotion I know of. Love doesn't have a spot in my life. The only love I have is between me and my Wii remote, and sometimes my phone. That's what she said. Also, hey, can we get some fucking, like, where's my emo music when I need it? Like, Jesus Christ, girl. Anyway, I got on my bus. Some girl was in my seat and gave me a dirty look. All the other seats were taken and she wouldn't let me sit there, so I had to stand at the emergency exit, out of the way. I got off the bus about 25 minutes later. On my walk to my door, one of the students threw a rock at me and it hit me in the back. It hurt, but I didn't stop. I walked to my door to find it locked. I pulled my key out and opened the door. There was a note on the counter. Be back by tomorrow. I want the house clean and spotless when I get home. I crumpled the paper up and pulled out something to eat. I started cleaning the house. It was from my mom. What? Wait. Hold up. Cleaning the house, it was from... oh, the note was from her mom. Okay. So I would have to think for being like, how did we get here? Like, what? That was just a weird set of fucking words. Sentences. Sentences, that's the word I was thinking of. My parents split up when I was younger. She comes back the next day some of the time, but others she won't be back for a day or two. After the house was clean, the clock said 7:30. I was worn out. That's why I got on my game. Nothing better to do than LOZ, right? I stomped up my steps and swung my door open and slammed it shut. I turned on the game and turned on some music. As I played, my worries slowly fade away. This girl, Jesus Christ. I'm calling it now. Emo-ass Mary Sue. Calling it. Emo-ass Mary Sue. Alright, we got fucking... I keep wanting to say Slipknot. That's not the right band. Coldplay! That's the band I'm thinking of, I think. Got some fucking Coldplay over here. Maybe add some Bring Me the Horizon if you like Screamo. Fucking, like, just that emo-ass music kid from, like, middle school that everyone, like, every middle school had at least that one emo kid that was basically the embodiment of this character minus the tragic backstory. Put that person with this backstory, and I'm gonna stop right there. My mind was at ease, my hands moved swiftly with the controller. I killed the monsters and killed Link a few times. Oops, sorry. It was Friday, so I just played all night. It was about midnight and no sign of Mom. I knew she wasn't coming home tonight. I paused the game, then went down for some food. I came back up with my favorite snack. I went to turn the game back, but the screen was black. In fact, the room was black. I went to turn the lights on, but the power was off. I used my light on my phone and swiftly made my way down the steps to the power box. I flipped the light switches, but nothing happened. I hung my head low and went back up the steps to my room. I locked the door behind me and sat on my bed. When I finished eating my snacks, I called it a night and went to bed. Even though the power was out and there was not a sound or light in the house, it was a bit scary, but risks are meant to be taken. I got nice and warm and soon dozed off. You know, I'd be a little bit more concerned if the power suddenly went off and you couldn't turn it back on with the power breaker. And especially if it was the only house that, there was a power outage. Especially if there was, no storm or anything. It was just a random-ass power outage. I would check to see if anyone else had one before I decided to go the fuck to sleep. Because I would be up all night if that was the case. Fuck that. Nope, nope, you couldn't pay me enough. I woke up the next morning feeling fine and refreshed. I pulled out my phone to find it's dead. I walked to my light switch and flicked it on. It worked, so I got a bit happy. I turned it off and went down the steps to the bathroom. After I did that, I went to get breakfast and headed back up the steps. I sat down on my bed and then everything hit me. All my emotions rushed at me real fast. I reached in my drawer, but then I quickly pulled my hand back. It's not worth it. I laid my head on my pillow and stared off at the ceiling. Is she gonna be depressed/suicidal also? I swear to God, I don't understand what's happening whatsoever in this fanfiction. All I know is that this is so far depressing as fuck. And, I can just imagine this character listening to goddamn Coldplay. Jesus fuck. I'm just gonna go read the next chapter. Chapter 2, My Hero. Link's point of view. I'm used to being killed and being hit, but today she is acting different. It's not normal. She's been killing me more than normal. And every chance I get to look at her, she has a sad expression on her face. Once there were a few tears. I can't stand to see her cry anymore. I must do something about it. When she left the room, I ran to Zelda and she told me how. So lazy to put it. Thanks, Arthur-chan. I ran up to the screen and jumped out. I landed on my head with a loud thud. I thought she heard me, but I guess not. I didn't expect that that the power would go out. Oops. Nice sentence, and I have many questions, but I don't have any answers to them because you wouldn't explain how the fuck this happened. I jumped up and I heard her walking up the steps. I ran under her bed. I hope she doesn't find me yet. I waited until she went back down the steps and I crawled out. I walked out of the room. I was going to say something to her, but this so-called Triforce is no good. When she came up the steps, I ran into another room. I heard her door close and lock. I cursed myself as I waited for her to fall asleep. After an hour had passed, I figured she was out, so I managed to get the door unlocked. I walked in and sat on the edge of the bed. I know you don't know I'm here, but tomorrow you will. I'll make sure of it. I whispered as I kissed her forehead. She smiled in her sleep. I pulled the covers over her head and walked out of the room. I walked down the steps and looked around. In the morning, I fell asleep in a chair. I heard her walking and I jumped up. I heard the sound of water running, so I walked to it. I peeked my head in the door to see her through the clear wall. I felt a nosebleed coming up. I cupped my nose and quietly shut the door. I collapsed at the wall by the door. Oh, that's nasty. Boy, you nasty. Spying on a girl in the shower. Shame on you. Boys know the meaning of privacy. When you hear water running, you don't go running towards it. You stay put, alright? You should have come out last night, you dumb fuck. Bitch. Wow. I mumbled to myself as I wiped my nose. When the water stopped, I took off to her room without making a sound. About 20 minutes later, I heard her walking up the steps. I sat on her bed waiting for her. She opened the door and walked in holding a plate full of food. She closed the door without noticing me. How? She looked at the bed, then her eyes stopped on mine. I shyly blushed as I remembered what I saw a little bit ago. She dropped the plate and it broke. Food went all over and she screamed. No fucking shit. Who the hell are you? She threw something at me. It hit me in the forehead and I fell back on the bed. I stood up. I knew this was a bad idea. I'm so sorry. It's me, Link. I held my hands out to show her I mean no harm. She held what looked like a pink stone. She was about to throw it, but she dropped it. It landed on her foot and she screamed in pain as she grabbed her foot. Where did she get that? Questions again. I don't know who the fuck you are, but you need to go before I call the police. You know, everyone in these types of stories always threaten to call the police, but they never actually do, alright? If I saw that shit in my house, I would not even, like, hesitate to be like, leave while I'm calling the police. I would be like, hello, 911? Yes, there's somebody in my fucking house. I walked to her TV. Sorry, I didn't mean to scare you. I did some magic and I found myself back at my treehouse. I sighed and tossed a few things around in my stupidity of thinking a human would like me. My point of view. You went into the TV. I started flipping out for a whole new reason. I stepped over the broken glass into my TV. Are you real? I looked at the screen as he threw stuff around. No, I'm still asleep, that's all. Anime characters don't just pop out of the TV like that. I shook my head and cleaned up my mess. Something in the back of my mind was telling me this was no dream. It was noon and I was scared to go in my room now. Ah, fuck, I didn't come up with a name. What's a good name? What's a good name? I don't want to use Dickbag McGee again. Quet? A familiar voice shouted from the door. Yes, Mother? I stood up and she walked to me. She looked drunk and her hair was torn and so were her cloths. What did I tell you? She slapped me across the face. The house is a mess. Of course, abusive mother also. Lovely. Just what I wanted in my stories. I'm sorry, Mother. I'll get right on it. I held my now red cheek and cleaned even more. When I was done, I walked to her. I'm finished, Mother. I don't care. Go clean something else. She spat at me. Deep down, I wanted to kill her, but I couldn't bring myself to do it. Yes, ma'am. I turned around and headed to the steps, and she grabbed my arm when I reached the steps. I said clean something else! She pulled me down and I fell to the floor. Jesus, don't I do enough for you? The least you could do is have the house clean. She spit on me as I sat on the ground and cried. As she walked away, I thought I was going to kill myself as the thoughts came back. But that's when you heard footsteps from the top of the steps to the bottom. They stopped at me. I thought it was my mother, so I stayed still in a ball. Damn. Yeah, remember the whole thing I said about the whole Coldplay joke thing? Well, wow. This is a really dark story, holy shit. You okay? My male voice spoke. It was soft, and it sounded as if it was from a dream I had once. I looked up to see Link. He stood at my feet and held a hand out. I slowly took it, and he helped me up. Who's this? My mother said as she walked to us. Link, ma'am, he answered. Bring boys home now? I always knew you'd sell yourself to Saturn. Oh, Arthur-chan. Oh, Arthur-chan. Oh, god damn it. Ma'am, if you don't mind, could you not talk to her like that? Link said it with a soft voice. My mother looked at him and said, What's it to ya? Did I ask you to join this conversation? No, ma'am. Then go home. She's not going to sleep around with you. Ma'am, I'm sorry, I cannot do that to her. What? I'm genuinely confused. Do what? He said as he put an arm around me. I didn't even know what to think at that moment. And that's the end of chapter 2. Wow! Arthur-chan, do you want to talk? Like, is everything okay? Because this is really depressing. Like, this character's backstory is really fucking depressing. Like, you don't have to go, like, full-on, like, abusive, bullied, depressed, suicidal, divorced parents. You don't have to do all that shit just to kind of, you know, have a anime character, like, sympathize with you. You can tone it down slightly, alright? Please. I'm actually concerned for you, Arthur-chan. But yes, that is Link X Reader. I'm gonna put the story in the description down below if you want to check out for yourselves. I don't really have words for this beyond, you know, questioning if Arthur-chan's alright, because I am actually kind of concerned. But at the same time, I just couldn't pass the story up. I couldn't. But yeah, So that's LinkX Reader. Thank you all so much for watching. Don't forget to like, comment, subscribe. Check out my other videos, recommend me stories, whether it's a fan fiction or the fandom. I'm always looking for suggestions. Don't forget to check out the rest of the story in the description down below if you want to finish it up. Don't forget to stay mythical. I'll see y'all next time. Goodbye, my lovelies.